I'm Lauren from snowboardsecrets.tv, and I'm very pleased to be here today with Olympic snowboarder Kelly Clark. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
And she is a three-time Olympian, a one-time gold medalist, and she's coming off a winning streak of 19. That is 19 out of 20 major competitions last year. Kelly, tell us about that. How was that for you?
Yeah, it's been a pretty fun few years. I think in 2 Januaries ago, I kind of started with this winning streak where I've had a bit of consistency, and yeah, I've just been progressing my riding and really having a good time, and so the consistency has been kind of a byproduct of that.
And 2 years ago is when you first stomped the 1080 in competition at the X Games?
Yes, 2 years ago, I was the first woman to land a 1080 in a competition.
And are you still?
No, there's a few girls who have done it since Carol Castellet, and there's also a young Chinese girl who's done it as well.
Okay, following in your footsteps after you broke the 4-minute mile record, so to speak?
Exactly. You know, I think once something becomes possible, you open up the door for everybody else to do it, and so it was just a privilege to be part of that with the 1080, and I'm excited for the progression of women's snowboarding.
So, okay, so your winning streak started all around the same time that you did that trick, is that right?
Yeah, it started a few weeks before, but you know, I think for me, I've really tried to make an effort to be intentional, and I've really wanted to do things because I wanted to do them, not because I had to. So even with the 10, it's not something, even that first season that I did it, I ever needed to win the contest. It was just something I did as, you know, a personal standard.
A victory lap.
Yes.
Okay, and you've talked a lot. Actually, you have a new book. This is just the manuscript, Reaching New Heights. Yes. But I heard that the book is out right about now.
Yes.
All right, and it is very inspiring. I just finished reading it, and you talk a lot about being intentional. And what does that mean to you, and where does it come from in you?
Yeah, the story Reaching New Heights is a story that was done from Zondervan kids, and it's a kind of target audience for elementary school kids, and it's an inspirational story. They profile people in areas of influence and inspire kids to really figure out who they are and inspire them to live passionately about life, and my story is a prime example of that. It is a story of my faith and kind of coming to know who I am apart from what I do, figuring out how to be successful in life and pursue excellence at the same time with my snowboarding. So it's, you know, it's a good read, and it should be fun to see what happens with it. Okay, and you've always worked hard. You worked in your parents' restaurant starting at, how old were you when you started? Probably too young to start working. Yeah, my parents are amazing. They own a restaurant, and they had me working from a young age, helping out where I could, but you know, more so than anything, they inspired and instilled a good work ethic in me that I'm very thankful for. Yes, and I had dinner at your family's restaurant, TC's, right? Yes. At Mount Snow, and your parents were there. One of them was on each side of me. We had a good time, and they were telling me about the trampoline that you had upstairs, and you used to, was that for snowboarding that you were practicing on the trampoline inside your house, or what? You know, trampoline in my house was just for fun when I was a kid, I think. I think trampolines when you're a kid is, you know, that's kind of where it's at. I've just been thinking of that a lot, just a trampoline on the second floor over a restaurant. Yeah, I mean, how many kids get to have a trampoline in their house? It was kind of awesome, and I never really got too tall, so it worked out for me for a long time. Okay, so you've worked hard. You worked hard as a kid, and you work very hard now. You have a rigorous training regimen, and you did mention health and taking care of your health. Can you share with us how you take care of your health, and, you know, maybe inspire some other people to a more winning and healthful health? You know, I think in snowboarding it's not really, you know, maybe embraced by the culture that it's actually you know, to be treated as a athletic endeavor. You know, I think it's a lifestyle sport. It's something that people do. You know, that they form a community around. Not everybody views it as, you know, being, you know, healthy? A high-level athlete. Oh, yeah. And so, you know, the last few years I've kind of pursued that and just looked around and tried to figure out how I can continue to invest in my snowboard career. And it's really, you know, come in the fashion of getting strong, being healthy all year long, preparing for my season, and it's really led to a lot of consistency and simply an injury prevention alone. It's worth it. It's
Okay.
weight,
By stretching and being strong, you say in the book, by being strong, you help prevent injuries.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. We're not trying to bulk up in snowboarding or anything, but I do a lot of crossover sports, road biking, different things that keep me fit all year long. And I work with a trainer, and I'm on 5 or 6 days a week throughout the year, maintaining fitness, preparing for my season.
Right, and you're going for the Olympics the fourth time. You're going to be 28 years old when you do it. Lesser snowboarders have told me that they're finished at that age, so this is going to be quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll be 30 actually.
30, that's right.
So
you're 28 now.
So that'll be
Yeah.
that'll be an adventure. But I'm feeling healthier and stronger and more motivated than ever. No one from the States has been to 3 Olympics for halfpipe, apart from myself. So I'm going for 4. I've already done the impossible. Why not try for one more notch?
Love it. I love it. That is inspiring. Getting back to health, do you eat anything special? Do you eat well?
I do not eat anything special. I just have to make sure I eat enough. Being so active. Come snowboard season, I'll end up losing a lot of weight throughout the year. So as long as I can replenish my body and give it what it needs, I can kind of maintain it.
Okay. Good. All right. We'll be back to you in a minute. All right. So getting back to that 1080, how did you know that you could do it, since it hadn't been done by women before in competition?
I'd been trying the 10 for a few years. Never could quite get it around, and it would always be kind of in this moment where I'd be riding well and I thought I would just go for it. And that works sometimes, but I decided actually just to practice it. So leading up to the X Games, that was a big goal for me. Getting my riding to a point where I could do the contest well without the 10 and have an opportunity to try it. So that practice day beforehand, I had landed it for the first time ever.
The day before?
And so having practiced it, I thought, well, maybe now I could do it in the event. There's a gem for you. Practice what you want to do. Yeah.
Yes, we're not surprised.
I'm very wise.
And the crowd must have gone wild.
Yeah, I think watching it on TV, I think I even surprised the announcers were anticipating me doing it at the bottom of the pipe where I had been trying it and where it hadn't been working. So I moved it up in my run, and sure enough, I landed it. But it was almost like they didn't see it when I actually did it, because
they weren't expecting it.
They weren't expecting it there, and getting down to the bottom, it was kind of special for me. I think in sports you feel like sometimes you're out there celebrating yourself, but with that moment, my friends tackling me at the bottom, it was special for me because the sport and the culture was celebrating with me.
That's fantastic. And 1080 would be, is it 3 full turns in the half pipe, or?
Yeah, 3 rotations. With the half pipe wall, you shave off a little bit of that number, but it's a 1080.
Okay. You're here in New York for meetings with your board of directors for your foundation. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I got to meet with one of the guys on my board of directors this morning here in the city, and I started Kelly Clark Foundation 3 years ago. And I basically got to a point in my career where I think as a professional athlete, on some levels, you have to be about yourself, but it's not always the best thing. And I realized that it was about more than me, and that I wanted to make sure that snowboarding was a better place because I was part of it.
Okay.
And so my avenue to do that is the Kelly Clark Foundation. For more information, you go to kellyclarkfoundation.org.
Tell us what it is. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, and we give scholarships for kids to go to mountain schools. We create opportunity. We want youth to achieve success through snowboarding, whatever that looks like. We also partner with snow-related nonprofits that give underserved youth in their communities opportunities to get on the hill and go snowboarding. So over the last 3 years, we've given away $42,000 in scholarships for tuition, and we just finished up our last scholarship round, and we're looking at our grant applications heading forward to get the kind of at-risk youth out on the hill as well. Oh,
that's fantastic. Okay, tell us the contact info again.
kellyclarkfoundation.org.
Okay, and people can make contributions?
Yes, the website is ever changing and ever growing, and you can go on there and get in touch with us and email us and figure out how to be a part. You can donate through the website, and you can apply for grants and applications for school tuition as well.
Great, it's wonderful that you're helping in that way. And just to wrap up, tell us, what are your favorite parts about snowboarding? Is it the competing? Is it after competition? Is it training? Tell us.
Something about snowboarding that I think I love the most, I think this will be winter 22 for me. I've been doing it for a long time. I always say I started snowboarding before it was cool. It's the first year it was even allowed at my mountain.
Mount Snow?
Mount Snow, yeah. And I think, the best thing about it is that you can never arrive. You can never master it. You can never be the best. It's ever-changing. And I love that. You always have to learn something new. You're continually challenged and continually asked to push yourself further than you thought you ever could.
Okay, and just tell us a little more about being intentional, because it is very inspiring.
For me, my faith and the principles that I live my life from, you can see in my snowboarding, you can see in my beliefs, you can see in my everyday life. And a core value of mine is really being intentional. I look around in my competitions, and I want to do tricks. I want to do different runs because I want to, not because I have to. Even with my 1080 a few years ago, I didn't need it to win the contest. I'm doing the tricks and the things to raise my own standard because I want to, not because I have to. So it's not an X Games final. It's not an Olympic final. It's something that I'm passionate about. And really, for me, that's what it looks like to be intentional.
Okay, great. Well, very inspiring words from Kelly Clark, and you are the winningest female snowboarder in the world right now, and we're rooting for you for the Olympics for 2014.
Thank you.
And reaching new heights. Okay, thanks, Kelly.
Thanks.